Okay guys, welcome to the workshop. Beautiful night here in the jungle. Nice and quiet, no wind, hardly a sound. That's a lizard on the roof. Whew, it was an interesting day for me. I call it the worst day of the year. Visa renewal day. I've complained about the renewal part of the visa many times, and lots of people have said they wish, thank you Thomas, they wish they had my problems. But I tell you, it is one horrible, miserable day, and it's something you just gotta get through it, you know. Not much you can do. Everyone has to do it. It's so frustrating. So if they just stick with the same rules every year, something different. What worked last year don't work this year. Unreal. Oh, they did reject the pictures. Gotta have pictures. This is for a marriage visa for anybody in Thailand. Marriage visa renewal. They rejected the pictures because it didn't show enough, which is exactly the same pictures in the same places in the house as last year. They were fine. This year they're no good. And it took forever, 4 hours at least in the office. I had to wait about 15 minutes maybe. They're like almost 4 hours. A lot of the paperwork, it used to be a real big stack of paperwork, and it still is, but a lot of the horrible forms, put your name in here and here and address here and here and here and here, it's changed now. They do it on the computer. Awesome. Yeah, right. Now the immigration officer has to physically ask you the same questions again and again and again, and then they got to type it out in Thai. So how do you spell that? How do you spell that in Thai? Good Lord, it took forever. It'd be interesting to see next year if we got to do the same stuff again. I don't think retirement visa is nearly as bad. But there's so many people trying to cheat the system on the marriage visa. You know, fake marriages basically. And it sure makes it bad for everybody that's just trying to be a law-abiding citizen. It is very frustrating following the rules. It's basically over. Still got to send them more pictures, but at least can do that online. They'll take them that way. I don't have to drive. It's an hour and 15 minutes from here to the immigration office. And there's road construction everywhere, so probably longer than that. The one road from the immigration office coming south to here, it's about 20 kilometers, I guess, that stretch of highway, something like that, 15, 20 kilometers. There's 5 construction sites on one road. They're putting in a whole bunch of bridges. Which I guess it'll be good once they're done. But there weren't bridges there before. Maybe it was flooded last year. A lot of that area got flooded last year, so that might be why. But it's basically done now. We left here at 10 o'clock in the morning. I had to go to the bank and get the letter from the bank. That's always fun because you never know what you're talking about. I have a copy of an old letter. I brought that, and the lady still didn't know what she was supposed to do, but there was somebody in the bank that actually had done it before, and she knew. So that was good. Last year that was a nightmare. Holy man. And the stupid thing with the bank, maybe it's only Siam Commercial Bank, the one that I deal with, but this is the 3rd time now I've had this same question. First time was in Pattaya. I was trying to get new ATM card. My ATM card expired, so I was getting a new card. And you got to give them your Canadian, in my case Canadian, foreign address. Well, I don't have a Canadian address. I tell the guy, I don't have a Canadian address. I live in Thailand. Oh, you have to have a Canadian address. You're from Canada, you have to have one. And then they go, well, just put down your last address. Well, somebody else lives there now, and I don't know who it is. I don't have a Canadian address. So I'm fighting with this guy back and forth for half an hour. You got to do it. Or I couldn't get my ATM card. So I wrote on there and filled it out where the address goes. I do not have a Canadian address. I live in Thailand. And he accepted it. So then the last 2 times at the bank when I was getting this letter for immigration, I did the same thing, and I did it again today. I do not have a Canadian address. I live in Thailand. And they're all happy with that. Oh my God, stupid rules. The banks, I don't know why, if it's some kind of Thai rule, I guess. They check your visa. When you do anything in the bank, you gotta have passport. They won't even talk to you without a passport. So, but they gotta check your visa to make sure you're legal and everything, which, should be none of their business, but, for people that are on overstay and stuff like that, you can't even have a bank account. People with no visa, you can't have a driver's license, you can't have a bank account. And I know there's lots of people in Thailand, I'm sure, with many, many years of no visa. Just glad it's over with. Freaking nightmare. A freaking nightmare. Okay, Dom, that's enough, buddy. And then I got back just about dark. Got to feed all the animals and water, which don't take very long. It's really only about 15 minutes. It's just something that has to be done if you want to do it or not. You want to have animals. They don't care if you're busy. Ah, the fire always makes me feel better. Takes away the stress. The stress that is dealing with immigration. This is the 10th year I've extended this visa. My visa is non-immigrant based on marriage, based on marriage. And each year you don't get a new visa, you extend the other one. It's a visa extension. This is the 10th year I've extended it. It's quite a while. Before that, I never needed a long-term visa because I was in and out of the country all the time with work. And the only reason I got this one was because of another rule change where you couldn't have multiple 30-day entry. I know I was in Wales at the time when that rule came out, and you had to have, was it Wales or Brazil? Might have been Brazil. When I came home, I had to buy another plane ticket leaving the country, or I couldn't come into the country. You had to have a return ticket. So I had to buy an airline ticket. I bought the cheapest one I could find was to Cambodia. I had to buy an airline ticket out of the country in order to come home. And then when I was home, I got the proper visa. Actually, I went to Laos and got the proper visa when I was here, or the 1 year non-immigrant. because that was another. You couldn't have multiple 30-day entries, and then you couldn't. You had to have a return plane ticket if you were flying in on an entry stamp. Visa on arrival. I've been doing this now for almost 15 years, and the rules have changed 1,000 times, I think. It's just constant little changes. Makes it frustrating. To say the least. It makes for a very, very unpleasant day. But yeah, the marriage visa one is a nightmare. And I'm a lot of years away from retirement age, so I'm stuck with this one. Don't qualify for permanent residency, so what are you going to do? The fire is just not what I want it to be. The wood is wet. It's the rainy season. What do you expect, I guess, huh? No rain today. Beautiful day. That's some old, ugly wood. Something going on with my truck. It's making some kind of like a squealing sound now in the front end. Sometimes when I put on the brakes, and sometimes when I'm turning. Just started today, and it's the air conditioner is dumping water onto the floor. So now the truck needs to go to the doctor. The truck's been really good to me. I hope it's nothing serious. I said I'd keep her until she started causing problems. The truck is 2005. There's only 94,000 kilometers on it. She hasn't been used much. She's been very reliable. But squealing noises, that's not good. And it might be a built or something too. I don't know. I haven't looked yet. It just happened this afternoon. I was a little preoccupied with immigration. It does make for a stressful day. You never know what's going to happen when you go to the immigration office. They have the power to kick you out of the country right then and there if they want to. Everybody at the immigration office, the last few times I've been there, you see very few Westerners. Occasionally, but not very often. They're all Asians. Today was 3 people from Vietnam, and I think 2 ladies from Philippines. But it's normally Laos and Cambodia. A lot of them married to, a lot of Asian women married to Thai men. And they got the same rules as us. The only difference with if a woman is married, and I found this out from a British lady, her daughter married a Thai man. The only difference that they have is the woman don't have to show money in the bank. That's the man's job to provide for the family, not the woman's. Like I have to prove money in the bank, and it's got to be there for 3 months and all that stuff. A woman don't have to do that, but all the other rules apply. And they got to prove that it's a legit marriage, which apparently is even harder than with a man. There's something different in that. But it's so many fake marriages, you know. The marriage to get the visa happens all over the world. Lately, the Thai police have been really after foreigners. A lot of teachers have been arrested, and a lot of drug dealers for tons of reasons. But they're really cracking down, like getting them by the dozens. A lot of Africans, I think. But it don't matter where they're from. We're all tarred with the same brush. If you're not born in Thailand, you're just another foreigner. And there's lots of bad ones, that's for sure. It just makes the honest people have to work 10 times as hard. Drinking kombucha. No beer today. Visa day. I've renewed a little bit early. My 90-day report was up. I had to go there anyway, so I did the visa at the same time. Just get it over with. Got to go back in July to actually get the visa stamp. Now I'm just in a holding pattern. But to get the stamp, that's the easy part. That'll be, if there's no line, it's 10 minutes. Oh, got some more baby rabbits. The other mom had babies. I'll have to do a rabbit or a baby update video soon. The baby videos are normally quite popular, and not having comments on them means I don't have the hate that goes with that. It's amazing how much hate is with baby videos. You're doing it wrong. Thank you, Thomas. If I followed the experts' rules, Thomas, you would have never made it out of the egg. Huh? Remember that? Abandoned by your mom. Tom would have been just another statistic. Didn't make it out of the egg. When I found that egg with him in it, it was covered in ants. Mom was gone. She gave up waiting. Tom was stuck. That's why he was raised with the quail. The quail actually is what kept him alive. And they did it this time with the baby chicken. And the chicken was too weak to stand up, and the quail would go under their wings and lift them up. And he did the same thing with Tom. You know, baby quail, you know. He did the same thing with Tom when he was too weak to stand up. He made him move, and then he slowly got around to being able to stand on his own. Now he's a jackass, a bully. All right, Thomas? But it's cool to see when they do that, and they saved that baby chicken's life this time. Was doing good now. It's almost as big as the others. Yeah, just let nature happen. Or help. You can't do that. Just watch them die. Oh, for anyone who doesn't follow Life in Thailand on Facebook, I found a video. I didn't find a video. It was sent to me by Ken. Of how these stoves are made. It was one of the bucket ones. the one that's in the tin bucket. But these are made the same way. How they're made with clay. It's what was I gonna say? The show is called How It's Made. I think that's what it's called. It's a TV show. Did a show on it. How they make these. Very, very basic. Very, very simple. And it's just clay and what looks like biochar is made out of rice hulls. Looks like biochar. And made on a machine like a potter's wheel. Pretty cool. But that was for a round one in a bucket. This one's a little different. And this does look like concrete, but I don't know what it is. But the one in a bucket is pretty cool. And I drove by a place today that looks like this is what they were making. I'm not sure. It happened pretty quick and I didn't have time to go take a look. But maybe one day I'll get to see how these are done. I'll get a video on how they're done. But yeah, if you don't follow Facebook, Life in Thailand on Facebook, the link is in on the about page of my website. The link for that is in the video description. I don't put a lot of stuff on there, but when I find cool stuff about Thailand and my website posts and that I share on there. But I don't share my videos on there, very rarely. I figured out I wasn't getting credit for the views, so why bother? So I normally don't, unless it's something I want to show somebody or somebody asks for it, then I'll do it. It's a good way to share stuff, but it's pretty cool how they're made. Very simple. It's just like making a clay pot, just that it's in a bucket. Boy, that little piece of plywood sure brought a lot of light. My eyes, my eyes! Thomas, be quiet! Crazy old Thomas. Alright guys, I think we'll end it there. I've rambled on way too long about way too many different things, as per normal. You should go check out Life in Thailand on Facebook. If you're just going to search for it, it's facebook.com/fisherman to farmer. I couldn't use Life in Thailand, somebody already stole it. So fisherman to farmer. And I will sit here and play with my fire until she burns down. But the easiest way to get it is link in the about page on any of my websites. Nice. Alright guys, as always, thanks for watching. Whew, I'm glad visa day is over. What a nightmare. I know, Tom, I know, but